Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Pringle. I am the president of Gullah Business of Charleston. And today I have my vice president, Tiffany Savage. And
Hello.
today we have a special guest, Seirra Hamilton from Nicely Placed Organizing. And she's going to tell us all about her business. And if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah. As Nicole said, my name is Seirra Hamilton. I'm the founder of Nicely Placed Organizing LLC. It's based in Charlotte, North Carolina. I personally am originally from Columbia, South Carolina. My business is to organize for first-time home buyers, borderline hoarders, and full-time artists and artists with art studios and workspaces. Just helping them be able to clear out their clutter, get out of the house on time, and meet any deadlines that they have on time as well. And thank you for having me as well.
Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
So, Sierra, if you can tell us briefly what led you to going into this business and making organization a business? Because me personally, that's a skill set that I'm still need improvement on, and I'm just amazed, that you made this into a business. But what led you there?
Yeah, so I have always loved organizing since I was little. And me and my sister shared a room, and so I was always the one who was more organized, I would say. But during the pandemic, I saw my cousin getting her closet organized by her best friend. And so that led me to just think back to when I loved organizing as a child, and it was just like a light bulb click for me to say, why not start a business doing something that I love and that I'm passionate about, making into a business to be able to service others who need this service and who may not have organizing as a skill set like I do. And so that was back in 2021. I started my business and did the research for it, came up with the name and my logo, and everything else just started rolling from there. And now we're here.
Awesome. So, how do you approach or understand the organizational needs of, different clients that you have? How do you even gather that information in the beginning of the process, develop a plan?
With my process, we first start out with a discovery call. That's going to be where they get a chance to know more about me and about my business, Nicely Placed Organizing. It gives them a chance to get to know the organizing services that we offer as a business and see if we are the best fit to work together. From there, if the answer is yes, we move on to a questionnaire and assessment, which is where I get a little bit more information about what phase of the organizing process they're in. And that helps me determine what service best fits them at the current moment. And then from there, we set up a day to do a consultation together, either in person, virtually, or over the phone. And that consultation is going to give us the opportunity to know what their space looks like, what visions and goals they have for their space after it's organized, and how we're going to get there. We also talk about why they feel like their space looks the way that it looks. And so we're able to kind of take a deep dive, just get to know them before we start creating that plan.
Okay. Can you share a success story where your organizational skills help a client improve? Like somebody like me. I know you have something to help me improve my life.
Yeah, so I was working with an artist, and we recently was working together to make a distinction between her personal work as an artist and also her business. As her business, she holds and houses different artists' artwork and their prints. So anything that they're gonna need, she actually holds it for them until they need it. And so she found that there was a high need for her to be able to separate her business from her personal work, because that separation didn't exist before we worked together. And so we sat down and actually created that division, went through everything that was together, and sorted through it all, decluttered it, and made that separation so that she can find those specific items for her clients and for those artists to be able to pick up like as soon as they need it, and so that she can find it as soon as she needs it to give to them as well.
All right. So what strategies do you employ to ensure that your organizational solutions are sustainable and easy for someone to maintain? The reason why we asked this, because just like if you had me as a client, I want to know what I could do to maintain this, because I would hate to mess it up when she came in, especially with the closet, anything like that, because I love shoes. I have a lot of shoes and I have a lot of earrings and stuff. And so that's like the main thing that I had struggled to organize, because like I could find one pair, out of the pair I could find one shoe and not the other shoe. So,
That's
like,
why I usually buy two when that
yeah,
happens.
you need to find two, especially when you switch out seasons, So
Just buy two. Now you got extra clutter.
exactly, where you tore everything else up. So what type of skills or what type of tools would you leave me so I can maintain everything that you worked so hard?
So it kind of goes back to the consultation where I get a chance to get to know the person's personality and lifestyle. And so from there, I'm able to know just how they operate on a day-to-day basis so that I can create different organizing systems that'll best fit them and their personality and their day-to-day lifestyle. What that looks like is sometimes the client is going to be right there with me organizing. Most of my clients recently have been wanting to be a part of the process, and so that makes it a little bit easier in terms of like what strategies they can incorporate long term because they are hands on and they see what I'm doing. So they get a chance to understand what it looks like to sort through different items that they have and declutter. And that is usually something that they take away and use for other projects that they do when I'm not there. When it comes to virtual sessions, which I also do, virtual organizing sessions, I usually have an outline that we give to them. It's a step-by-step outline about 2 days after the session that we've had, and it lets them be able to go back to that outline whenever they need to use it as a guidance and as a just a piece that they continue to return to every time that they're organizing their space.
So when you're working in these different spaces like studios and people's homes or what have you, how do you handle like confidential paperwork and documents?
Yeah, so sometimes that's something that they tackle before I even get there. There are some people who like to kind of tidy up before I get to them and to their session, and so they'll ask what something that they can be doing before we start organizing. That's usually one of the things that they start doing is just removing different things that are confidential and that are private that they don't want to have in the space. But if it's still there when I actually get there to organize, then I'll ask them, hey, is this something that we want to go through and sort through now? If it's a lot of papers that they have that are more confidential, I'll ask them if it's something that they want to go through at the moment or if they want to do it on their own time. So that's when they'll usually decide if it's something where I'm recording for content, say I'm getting before and after pictures and videos, then I'll either ask or they'll either tell me that, hey, this is something I'd like to keep private, or if there's a name on a piece of paper, I'll make sure that I don't get that in the video or any pictures that I'm taking so that if they want to remain like anonymous during the sessions, then we keep those out of the sessions or out of the content that I get.
All right. So how do you customize your organizational approaches based on, like, for instance, a studio versus a home? How do you customize that for your clients?
Yeah, so that kind of goes back to their personality and lifestyle. Usually, if it's a studio or a home, I've noticed that the spaces are more general. A space is more general, but a person is more individualized and specific, if you will. And so I really focus within my business on the person and on how they operate within whatever space we're organizing. And so that's usually the tell all of how we organize their space to cater and fit their specific needs so that they can be able to find what they need when they need it, and be able to operate based on their personality, based on things that they already like, and based on how they need to be able to function throughout the space on a day-to-day basis.
All
Okay.
right.
How do you stay updated with the latest tools as far as organizing for your clients?
So I am a part of a business called, or part of a community called Black Girls Who Organize. It's BGWO. And so within that organization, I have been able to have the opportunity to be surrounded by so many other Black professional organizers like myself. And some of them have been in the industry for longer than I have. And so I've had the chance and opportunity to just see how organizing when they first started is different for them now, in the current days and in this time. And so they've been able to provide just some of the tips, that have helped them continue to stay up to date on organizing, if you will, now. And then when it comes to different workshops that I usually do my own research. And so it allows me the chance to be able to see different studies based on, say, for example, if someone has clutter, what's the likelihood that they are depressed? Or if they have a cluttered home, is their mind also cluttered as well? And so those are some of the ways that I also stay up to date on different organizing tips that are current. There's also an organization called ICD. They tend to focus on individuals who are challenged, with this organization. So, say, for example, people who have ADD, ADHD, and depression. And so they also offer different free workshops and free classes that they offer to organizers to help them grow in the different organizing tips and stay up to date, stay current in the industry.
My next question focuses on time management. Of course, you organize spaces, but how do you manage multiple projects and how do you allot time to different projects? So it's kind of like a two part thing.
Yeah.
Um, so how would you even balance all of that, especially if you have multiple projects going on, and decide how you divvy out each client, like give them worth their time for each session?
Yeah. So when it comes to a session, for example, how I manage that specifically, is so usually during the consultation, that's going to tell us how many sessions we're going to need to be able to get the project completed. And so once I've had a consultation, if it's not an in-person consultation, or even with in-person consultations, any consultation that's in-person, virtual, or by phone, 2 to 3 days later, I'll take some time to just assess and come up with an estimate for them to let them know how long it's going to take to actually complete their entire project. During that time, I'll let them know if it'll take one organizing session or more than one session, and we'll be able to create a plan, a game plan to get that entire project done. When it comes to time management in terms of different organizing projects, when I'm working on more than one, then I have a CRM currently that I use called HoneyBook. And so that CRM allows me to organize uh, or to be able to organize per project. With every contact form that comes in, it creates a new project. So, say for example, if you and Nicole have your own specific projects that you want to get done. It'll say, for example, Tiffany's closet organizing project once you complete a contact form, and then Nicole's bedroom organizing project. And then once those projects are automatically created, then we can also create different dates on the calendar for when we'll organize. I can see that in a full calendar view as well. And then that gives me the opportunity to focus on which project is coming up sooner, and be able to prioritize my time based on which project I'm working on first.
How do you, when you're collaborating with your clients, how do you ensure and make sure, I guess, their preferences on where everything's placed when you're organizing?
Yeah, so usually, so sometimes when our clients are organizing with me, so they'll take things and or they'll have things where they want it. But then at the end of sessions, I'll ask them as well whether they like where things are placed or if they want to place it somewhere else. So I'll get their feedback on how we actually went through and organized the space. And then that'll allow us to kind of see whether they like it, whether they want to make any changes and adjustments. And even in a virtual organizing session, after we've had the session all together, at the end, I'll ask them, how does this sound to you? How does this resonate with you? Is this a plan that you can see yourself going forward with? Do we need to make any adjustments so that it's more manageable for you? And so that's usually the approach that we take.
So can you discuss a situation where you face challenges with a project and what was the outcome from it?
Yeah, so going back to the artist that I mentioned earlier, we organized her desk area, and her desk area was a really compact area, so I saw it as a more complex and challenging project for us to complete. And so from the beginning, we went ahead and sorted through everything, took it all off the desk area and from around the desk area. And we worked through everything how I do with all of the other projects that I do to sort through what was originally on the desk. And we noticed that there were some items that were on the desk that didn't need to go back on the desk. And so that made the project more successful in a sense, to help us be able to organize what was left and be able to get through the project. And by the end of it, I was like, well, we got through it. We organized everything that, even though this was complex because of it being a compact and such a small area, we were able to organize everything and get everything the way that she wanted to, divide what was hers from her business work, and be able to place things where she could find it easily and where it would be functional for her on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. I guess it leads me to another question too. So we spoke about this earlier at one point previously when we talked about how, the way your space is a reflection of your mind. So if your mind is cluttered, or your mental space, then sometimes your physical space will go ahead and reflect that. Then there's other things, other factors that can play, maybe through depression, may even be time where you have a chaotic or busy schedule. And then if something happens that you may have, like certain people may have different barriers to organize the organization, such as, if you have ADHD or ADD, it may be challenging at times to organize your space. How does your business empower clients to go ahead and have these tools to organize?
So my business empowers those clients by helping to celebrate their wins. So anytime they may be organizing either individually after we've had organizing sessions, or if they're helping me organize, then I'll give them positive feedback and I'll celebrate what they're doing to help them see that this is important, that you're understanding or that you're gaining the ability and the confidence to organize on your own as well. I've had clients who, once we've started organizing, after we've done maybe a session or after we've completed the entire project, they'll go on and keep organizing and doing other organizing projects within their home. And so they'll send me text messages and they'll share that with me to just let me know that they have continued to organize, and I'll celebrate with them, share how proud of them that I am, so that they are getting that empowerment and that positive reinforcement that they can do it and that they can keep going. I also have on my Instagram story highlights and in progress tab. So that's an area usually where if we haven't finished a project per se, but they've still taken some time out on their own to be able to do some of the work by themselves, and they send me a text message or they send me some type of picture, that's usually where that will be located so that other people in general can just see the different ways that people are still organizing on their own because of the sessions that we've been able to start having. So it's really something that they've come to enjoy, and that I love that they are taking the initiative to keep organizing and keep going on their own as well.
Here at Gullah Business of Charleston, we're here about empowering our communities and the different businesses. So thank you again for sharing that. And Nicole, I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it away.
Oh, this is your question. You always do great with this. She said she passed it. I
Yeah.
must learn. I must learn. Okay, let me see how you normally word it. Okay. Can you give me 3 words that would describe your business, Nicely Placed Organizing?
Yeah, so 3 words that describe nicely placed organizing our community: authenticity and honesty. And I say those 3 words. First, community. I say community because it's at the root of nicely placed organizing and what I bring as a business, and also as an individual. I remember since I was little, my mom always used to take us into the community to volunteer and also to just be a part of the community in general. So it's always been something that I've kept with me and that has stuck with me, and is transferred over into my business. And then I say authenticity and honesty because as an organizer, I feel that people aren't gonna trust what I do, and they have to trust what I do. They have to trust me. And in order for them to trust me, I have to be honest with them and also authentic. And when I'm honest and authentic, they can truly see that what I bring as a business owner and as a business is going to help them, and not be harmful or hurt them in any way. Or that it's not going to harm them intentionally or harm them just in any way in general. So that's why I say authenticity and honesty.
Okay. We can't go away without saying, so you're based in Charlotte, North Carolina, but do you travel?
I do. So I travel to South Carolina. I've organized in Charleston and Columbia. And I also have traveled to Maryland as well. So I travel up and down the East Coast.
Okay. And before you leave, how can everybody, all the viewers, follow you and get in contact with you?
Yeah, I am on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Nicely Placed Organizing. Those are places that you can find me. And then my website is nicelyplacedorganizing.com.
Well, thank you for coming on, Seirra. We had an awesome time. It was nice meeting you. You guys make sure you follow her. And thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you again for coming on. We really appreciate it. You guys make sure you follow her and make sure you follow us and what we're doing. Anytime you want to come on, just let us know and we'll schedule it on and we could do this again.
Well, thank you again for tuning in. And just like Nicole said, if you ever want to be featured, please reach out to us at Gullah Business of Charleston on our Instagram page. And make sure to like, tag, and share. We also have a YouTube channel, so check out all of our latest features that we have, past and present. And thank you guys again. I hope you have a wonderful night.